media, man. We try to tell you tonight's going to get a little outlandish. So before I get to our special guest that you can see on the screen, he probably needs no further ado. So on with us tonight, we've got the outlandish one, Zicky Dice. How you doing, brother, man?
Well, thanks for having me. We'll start off there. I've lost count of quarantine, but I'm here to help you because I know it is day 28 as my title reign continues, because guess what? The days don't stop counting for the coronavirus. So they just keep on adding up. I'm 0-0 right now as champion. That's a perfect record.
Hey, you got to look at the bright side. Perfect record's a perfect record.
Damn right. It's the little things. It's what keeps me one step ahead.
Well, before we get started, man, let everybody know where they can find you on social media and all that good stuff.
I made it nice and simple for everybody. It's at Zicky Dice on every piece of social media platform out there. So go ahead and hit follow now so you can be like, hey, I knew him when.
Dev, I'll let you throw your social media out, and then I'll get mine out of the way, and then we'll be good to go.
All right. You can find me on Twitter. I didn't make it as easy as Zicky did. I should. You can find me on Twitter at Devin63. That's DEVINTHE63. You can find me on Instagram at All Steak No Sizzle. It's one word. And make sure you join the Reality Era News group on Facebook. We talk all kinds of wrestling. And I'm pretty sure we're going to talk a little bit about the record-setting WrestleMania with 0 attendance.
Wonderful.
Don't even get me started. And Zicky's got his own special guest. Who do we got in the screen with us, man? Is that the notorious Ric Flair?
This is Ric Flair himself, the nature pup.
And I saw he was nature out there on that tree out there earlier, brother, man.
Oh, yeah. I had to we went on a far run yesterday, and we went on another one today, and he started limping. So I started carrying him like a quarter mile. He's 97 pounds, and I was
Good
dying.
Lord.
So, yeah, I put him down. I found like a thorn in his foot, and then a rock jammed in one of his paws too. So took care of him, and we were good to go.
He was trucking. Well, you can find me.
It's been my day.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit NOKOUT. Make sure you're following all the show social media at KO3C Pod. If you're watching it, most likely you already are. So first things first, man. How is the outlandish one spending his damn quarantine?
Well, I've been releasing some videos. I dropped a new shirt yesterday, which you can check out at ZickyDice.com, which is quite outlandish to say the least. Making some content, trying to stay fit and healthy, and trying to take over the world and get famous. That's pretty much about it.
Hey, man, we're in the same boat with you.
Pretty much about it.
Hey, Dev, what do you got for our guest?
Well, you mentioned you dropped a new T-shirt, man, and the thing I got to ask about is the $16,000 fanny pack,
question.
man. Like,
famous question. What do you want to know? What's in it?
16,000?
Because I'm not telling it. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I got a bargain. It's handmade, one of a kind. And I might just let everyone know what's in it over this quarantine time. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not answering that today.
Well, it's not more of like what's in it, but $16,000 though? 16?
Zicky Dice's money. You know that. That's why you guys were begging me to come on the show to help you get famous. That's what I'm here. I'm here to save you.
Hey, man. We'll take all the help we can get. That being said, man, let's jump into the stuff that people probably don't know. So obviously, this whole thing came about because I started talking a little shit on Twitter, which that's always fun and good. But I was listening to your interview with Chris Van Vliet the other day, man, and you were talking a little bit about your music career and all that good stuff too, which first of all, I'm a fan of your guys' music and some of the bands you were talking about that you were touring with. So tell me a little bit about that, about your music career, your band, and tell me, let everybody know how that transitioned into you getting into wrestling.
It started off with music. I started off playing music in high school and started different bands from there. And then I chose different members from all these local bands and started this band, Heart to Heart. And from there, we just started grinding and touring and playing everywhere we possibly could, and got out of my mom's garage and onto the Vans Warped Tour and onto a bunch of badass tours. We did that, let's say, started in 2009, and about 5 years ago is when I decided to become a professional wrestler. We were on tour with 4 Years Strong and come back in. My buddy's like, hey, I think you need to become a professional wrestler. So I did. Moved from California to Moline, Illinois, trained at the Black and Brave and under Seth Rollins and Merrick Brave in Davenport, Iowa, and been making a name for myself ever since. I haven't slowed down in the bit. But now, thanks to this, I get to catch up and relax and stay home for a little while. So that's cool.
So like I said, again, I was watching that interview, and I know you were trained by Seth Rollins. Funny story, man. I've worked out with him the last couple of years at WrestleMania when he's done his Day with the Dead Boys thing and all that stuff.
Cool.
So has he gotten you on the CrossFit run too? Or like, are you just straight weightlifting? Like, I know you said you're trying to keep up with your fitness.
I did CrossFit when at Black and Brave. It's mandatory. You have to. So did that there. I continued for a little bit after, and I like being in the weight room more nowadays. CrossFit's cool. It's whatever, but I like doing a different style of working out, and I just like to lift weights and get cardio in on my own. Feel it's better for me and better for what I'm going for, and it's just what I choose to do.
Can't be
mad as of now. It's just been going on runs with the dog and doing what I can. Card workouts. I've been driving up to a secret gym. I can't say where, and getting in there and getting a little ring time. So which has been cool. I've been driving an hour there and back for that. So in between. So I've been doing that to stay sane and stay relevant.
Hey, man, that's all you can do at this point, because, hell, we don't know when this shit's going to stop. every day
Might be a long time.
Another update with it. So my question for you, man, is like, you've got, obviously, it says it right in your name with the name Outlandish, man. You've got one of the more out there characters in wrestling right now, which I think serves you greatly well. So first of all, who were some of the influences for you when you were coming up watching wrestling, and what got you into it in the first place?
I grew up in a wrestling household. My older brother got me into wrestling. It was just always on the TV. I grew up born in 87. So, late 80s, early 90s WWF is what I came up on. I love, Ravishing Rick Rude, Rick the Model Martel, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and the list goes on. But yeah, that's pretty much a huge influence of what I base a lot of my wrestling around. And I like the bright colors and the characters, and I like being different. I'm always watching and very observant of everything going on around me. And with all the traveling I do, you see the same looking mother suckers. So I take note of that and make sure to stand out. I always want to be different from everybody else. So.
Hey, man, you're doing it. You got that bright ass pink fanny pack. Now you told people that cost you what? Didn't you say it was $16,000? Isn't that what you said?
$16,000, yeah.
So how the hell did you get yourself buying a $16,000 fanny pack? What the hell, man?
I know people. They don't call me Zicky Dice for nothing. I'm a gambler.
Hey, man. Okay, so what's your game of choice?
Oh man, anything. I flipped quarters for $100 a flip before. I've done darts for hundreds of dollars. These are very true stories. You name it. Anything.
Hey, nothing's off limits here, so anything you want to tell, go feel free.
The game would be dice. They don't call me Zicky Dice for nothing.
I got you. So next question I got for you. I was listening to a lot of the guys that you had as names that you wanted to face, one of which happens to be a past guest of our show. So let us know, what do you think could happen in a match between you and Jake something?
I'd whoop his ass.
Straight and to the point. I like it. Deb, what you got?
Yeah, we got to get Jake on here to talk about that. But the question I have is, you mentioned that you trained with Seth Rollins, and you hear about all those great wrestling schools. Lance Storm is known for, his school. Kane has a school down in Knoxville right now. But you hear about Seth Rollins' school, but I haven't really talked to anybody or heard any stories about it. So what can you tell us about Seth Rollins as a trainer? Well,
I'll tell you this. You're talking to the top graduate that's ever come out of the Black and Brave. That's who you're talking to. I set the bar for everyone else that comes through that program. And that was my idea going in. I'm the first one to really make a name for themselves out of Black and Brave. And, they got some big shoes to fill. And it was hands down one of the toughest things I've ever experienced in my life. And I wouldn't change a thing about it. I knew it was going to be tough going in. I knew that I wasn't going to bullshit my way through it. And, Seth will tell you that he thought I would, but he'll tell you otherwise today. I proved him wrong, and I continue to prove everybody else wrong around me. And it makes me feel good inside. Kind of turns me on a little bit,
I'm going to leave that one alone. But
don't be shy now, dog. You know we don't play that on the show.
I'm going to leave that alone. But one thing that I did notice that looking at your social media is that you've lost a lot of weight over the years. Was that from your training with Seth Rollins, or was that just you wanting to get yourself into shape?
Oh, I was still fat as shit, I think, when I was there. It was after I still put on a little bit of weight after. I mean, I got in better shape there, put on a little bit after, just hit this like big old funk, depression funk. And when I was living in Chicago, and then got out of that and started intermittent fasting and working out and forcing myself to the gym. I started off at a Planet Fitness. And even growing up, like I wrestled growing up, but I never really spent much time in the weight room. So it was more like mat time and, and running and stuff like that. So I went in and basically taught myself, and then I, signed up for with the trainer and then classes and different things along the way. To the point where now I can go in and basically know what I'm doing and get the hell out. So it's been a learning curve, but if I can do it, anybody can, that's for sure. And I'm still on it, still on the journey, cutting weight as we speak.
So that brings up a great question. So what are some of the biggest differences you see? I mean, obviously you were out on the road a lot with your band. What are some of the biggest differences that you see now, like traveling to wrestle as opposed to being on the road as a musician? Or do they parallel themselves?
It's the same. It's the same. It's the same carnival, different game, man. Literally the same. So it's prepared me. I don't know. Same gas stations, same thing. It's just by myself most of the time now, which is cool too. Because I know how hard I can work. But yeah, pretty much the same.
So I got to ask it because I've heard you mention it in probably 3 interviews now. So if you had a manager, who would it be and why would it be Joe Exotic?
It would be Joe Exotic. It would be. And I'm working on that.
I heard. Did I hear you say in that interview that you know somebody that knows Joe Exotic, and you were trying to?
I know somebody that knows somebody. I always know somebody that knows somebody.
Hey man,
are you going to break him out of jail?
Somebody. There's a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of things I can do.
Wait, I think that's a Knockouts and 3 Counts exclusive. Zicky Dice is going to break Joe Exotic out of prison.
When I need a manager, when and if I need a manager.
Okay.
But yeah, he would be the one.
He would be the one. Dude, it was so funny because like in the NWA group, man, that was like the #1 comment that everybody kept saying. They were like, is that Joe Exotic, man? He needs to have Joe Exotic for his manager. And I'm like, well, and I know you saw that tweet from our friends over at Breaking Down the Ring saying, ask him about Joe Exotic. I said, I'm sure he's probably got plenty to say about Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic, man. He's great.
So with NWA kind of catching fire with NWA Power and all that stuff, like, I was listening to, can you tell us a little bit about how you got to NWA? Like how that came about?
Funny story. Yeah, I was working at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on and off for 3 years and never cut a promo, and showed up there early one day and they're like, hey, why don't you get on the mic? And I said, all right. I said 6 words and walked around the corner, met Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana. And he's like, how would you like to work for me in the NWA? And I said, I would love that. And then so I debuted season 2 and taken over NWA and the world ever since. So I think it was fate that brought us together that day. I think now they started to realize the gem they found, and I landed Zicky Dice, and I knew exactly what I was doing when I was getting there.
Well, one question I have is that Dave Marquez, he's a part of NWA Power, and he was also there in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to, man. So, like, what was it like working with Dave Marquez, and have you guys, kind of worked out whatever issues you had in NWA?
We didn't. Did you not see he came out and yelled at me and Now he's posting that now that I'm getting worldwide fame that I'm out of control. I don't care what Dave Marquez says. I don't like Dave Marquez. The only thing Dave Marquez has that I want is the power to book a match between me and Dave Marquez. How about that? My first title defense against Dave Marquez. How about that for television?
Wow.
Hey, man, you got to get them W's where you can get them.
Oh, I have an idea, and I'm going to be a fighting champion, and I might just set up 7 victories in a row. The first episode of Power, whenever we get back, because I'm staying in shape. I'm a fighting champion. I'll defend it 7 times in a row one night, and then beat Nick Aldis the next night.
Wow.
So you already hit
outlandish claims. Outlandish claims.
Oh, these are facts. These are facts. I only speak the truth. I'm taking over the world of professional wrestling. Everybody's spot. Everybody should be afraid. Everybody, because guess who's got eyes on him now? Guess who's hot? The hottest sensation, me. And I ain't got no plans of slowing down. And so you never know where I'll pop up. You never know where you're going to see Zicky Dice.
Hey, if you're in the Detroit area, man, you got to let us know.
I'm like the wind, baby. I'm everywhere.
Hey, that's the way to be. So something that I specifically wanted to ask you about, I heard you mention a little bit about your want to work with Special Olympics and kids with disabilities and things of that nature. Tell me about where that comes from. That's a big one for me personally. I work with kids with disabilities. I actually run an exercise group for kids with disabilities here in Michigan. So it's cool to hear that from somebody else as well. So I'd love to hear, where that comes from for you. Does it have any special meaning to you, or like what brings that?
Well, it started, I've worked in the field for 13 years now. It started in elementary school. I did lunchtime buddies in elementary school. I would meet, I think it was once or twice a month with the special ed class and just have lunch with them. And then kind of just fell into it from there. I was just always interested in it. So as soon as I started 18, I started working in the field. I did in-home care and day programs, and I worked for a travel agency that traveled with adults with developmental disabilities. I've worked in the high school setting, worked with adults, children, and I wouldn't change the world because I hate everybody else. And those are the most amazing people on this planet. And if I wasn't doing this, that's exactly what I'd be doing. So.
Hey, man, I love that because, one thing I learned out of the kids I've gotten to work with, because, I've worked with kids with everything from Down syndrome to Asperger's and everything in between.
Yep.
And it's like people just automatically assume that because kids got disabilities or whatever the case might be with that particular person that they're just stupid. And it's like they know that you think that you think.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'll play dumb. Sometimes I feel like the kids with disabilities are smarter than half the humans that got no problems, because the way that they can play dumb and make you look stupid is something that it's just
I've
amazing.
seen it all. Believe me. And when I say 13, let me put it to you this way, 13 years, and I'm sure there's a million people, and you could probably back me up on this. No 2 days were ever the same.
Okay, so now we've officially got a first, Devin. So since we usually go into locker room etiquette, all that kind of stuff, we're gonna do a first, since you'll know where I'm gonna go with this one. So,
okay,
what's the craziest thing, what's the funniest thing that what's the funniest thing you've experienced as far as just like your everyday dealings with them? Because for me, the funniest thing that I ever had happen was one of my coworkers, who I give it to the kid. He's a good looking lady. She walked up. I had the sister, and the brother was with her, and I walked over, and this kid walks up, grabs a whole handful, and then just smiling his ass off. And as soon as everybody goes, "Kyle, you can't laugh," I said, "Dude, she's laughing, and it's happening to her. How do you want me not to laugh?"
Dude, man. Mine was I worked with my brother, and we worked with this one specific child. He was a 2-on-1, and we went to this. This is just the first one that comes to mind. There's a million that I could tell, but we went to this big gathering for Christmas, and it was like all of the schools in the area. We all take a bus, and Santa's there. You meet Santa, and there's like this big old nice meal, and you sit down, and they serve you this and dessert, and there's horns and people dressed up and dancing, and we're feeding our guy that we're with, and all of a sudden he stands up, out of nowhere and projectile. I'm talking about like Exorcist barfs over everyone and like ruins this event. And it's like spewing, and me and my brother don't know what to do, so we just start laughing because he's just like going everywhere, and we're like, dude, he threw up in this little girl's hair in front of us, and we just got him,
no.
and we left. We just got him in the work vehicle because we had our own work vehicle for him, and we left. And we ruined this Christmas party and just left. We left the bar. We left. We just left.
Hey man, you guys made it outlandish over there, bro.
I think that was a Tuesday.
That's awesome, dude. So with NWA being all tapings and stuff like that, what's it like for you guys to be taping, like doing your shows in like the TV studio versus some of the places you'll go out on the indies? Like, I know there's such a different vibe there with it being like the studio crowd. Is it any different for you doing the NWA tapings versus maybe like a normal indie show?
Well, the answer is going to be yes. It's a little different, but at the same time, the answer for me is no. Yeah, there's a little bit more pressure there, and I know it's a bigger stage, and that always excites me. But championship wrestling from Hollywood, once again, I got to take my fanny pack off to him, and Dave Marquez over there and the whole crew prepared me for that. It's basically ran the same exact way. No, but for everyone else, yeah, sure, maybe. Me, no, not really.
So obviously, since we're all in quarantine, there's not a whole lot for a lot of people to be doing. When I was sitting on social media last night, I saw that they've AEW has now come out with their version of a TV championship. What
I did.
What are your thoughts on that, and how do you feel about trying to just become not only the must-see TV champ all over?
Well, let me put it to you this way: there's only one. I am the champion of television, and there's only one. And whatever any other imposter from any other company was, I'm going to outshine them every single time. So, I mean, we can defend titles if you want. We can put them up against, but I'm telling you right now, there is nobody like Outlandish Zicky Dice. You can go and create them. You can go and pick them from the NFL. You can go and get them from the Olympics. You can breed them. They can be your friends, but still, I'm going to outshine everybody. Everybody. No one stands a chance. No one. Anyone wants to get in the mic with me? Okay. Anyone wants to get in the ring? Okay. Nobody. I'm literally not afraid of anybody. Not ashamed. Everyone should be holding on to their spots. It's me that's coming for their spots, like I said earlier. So, yeah, go ahead. TV title, TNT title, whatever. AEW, whatever. Whatever. I'll go wherever.
So you mentioned NFL, you mentioned other sports. So our show covers MMA as well. Is the Outlandish one a fan of the combat sports like MMA, boxing, all that kind of stuff? And if so, who do you like to watch?
Well, once upon a time, I used to love it when Chuck Liddell was on top of the game. Then he fell off quick, and then I just got over it. So he kind of ruined it for me. He was from the same area where I lived in California. So when just watching that just kind of crushed my hopes and dreams for him. I was like, it's fake. Next.
So what if I told you his fall from grace? I was there in Atlanta, dude, and I had the guy that was sitting in the row in front of me. Ha, Devin, there's no bell for you to ring, bitch. Usually when I say I'm there, Devin's got a bell in the studio that he'll ring, so that's where that comes from. But man, it was funny the night that happened when he fought Rashad Evans, man.
Probably your fault then, dude. That's what I'm going to say. I'm blaming you.
Out, bro. Fuck, I went there for my 16th birthday thinking, hell yeah, Chuck Liddell's going to knock him out, and then that bastard Rashad had to go ruin it.
Yeah, that was – yep. I think I was watching that live. I remember that. Yeah, but I used to – I mean, I try and catch up here or there if it's on, sure. Yeah, I don't follow much. Conor McGregor's cool. I think he's cool.
I can totally see you and Conor McGregor getting along real well.
Yeah. I like George St. Pierre. I thought he was cool. George St. Pierre's great. But
St. Pierre was good, man. It's good to hear somebody give him some credit, man, because so many people want to talk about the later end of his run, and they're all like, oh, yeah, dude, he was boring to watch and all that. At the end of the day, dude, I'm sure that you would agree. As long as you get to that pay window, it don't matter.
Yeah, but his wrestling was the best, and he didn't have a wrestling background, and that's what's like so interesting about him. You know, it's like I grew up freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling and folk style wrestling, and just to watch someone like be the best wrestler with no wrestling background, like, is incredible.
So I got to ask too, you've had quite the run-ins with a few of our guests here, because another one of them is another trainee of Seth's, Travis Titan. So
good old Travis.
Tell me a little bit about that and what your thoughts were. You guys had a match, right?
Yeah, I went back to SCW about a month or so ago and wrestled Travis Titan. He needed a little help getting famous, so I said, of course, hey, I'll hop in and help you out. It's the least I can do. I'll let you put Zick Dice on your resume, baby. Pay up.
Stealing a line from the dead man, huh? Making people famous.
That's all I do lately. That's all I do.
All right, Dev, I flapped my gums for a minute. What you got?
Well, right now you're the NWA television champion. And if you think about the history of that title, you got some of the greats in the business like Arn Anderson, Ricky Steamboat, Steve Austin, many others have held it. Who's your favorite television champion and why?
Arn Anderson.
Other than yourself, though. Other than yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's usually Arn Anderson. It's cool. Like, I think Sting's another great one, But just Arn and just listening to, I listened to his podcast before going into Hard Times pay-per-view, and, just what the title meant to him, that was his world championship, in his eyes. Right. And I kind of look at it the same way, that's my world television championship. That is mine. And I'm the one that's going to get it talked about, and I'm the one that's going to get it to the next level. So.
And I've been watching NWA Power. I enjoy it. Honestly, I think it's some of the best wrestling programming out right now. And one thing I was hoping would happen when they bring back the television championship. So with you being the champion, what do you see yourself, in the next few months doing with that title? Who do you want to see? You want to go up against Ricky Starks again? Where do you see yourself going?
I'm the champion. I have a target on my back. I don't care who I got to face, because I'm looking at the Lucky Seven. I want to win 7 in a row, and I want to get to Nick Aldis. I don't care if it's a shame of this virus, because it could have been Marty Scurll I was taking it from. Who knows? And Nick Aldis, Marty Scurll, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get my 7 wins however I got to get them. I haven't even cheated yet. And I am your world television champion. I will do whatever it takes to get those 7 wins. So, and then I can get my hands on the 10 pounds of pink. I think that might be the next goal.
Ooh, the 10 pounds of pink. I like that.
So here's the question. I know you can't divulge your plans too much, but if and when you take the 10 pounds of gold, whomever it may be from, whether it's Nick Aldis or somebody else, do we see you come out with your own belt, or are you going to keep the 10 pounds of gold and just put your own spin to it?
Who knows? I can't even tell you. I'm sure there will be something. There will be a parade. There will be a celebration. There will be a national holiday. It will be grand.
Hey man, I look forward to it, because that'd be. I just feel like
just keep watching.
We'll leave it at this, and it's going to be outlandish to say the least.
Very much.
So you we talked about you getting trained by Seth Rollins, and how you guys met, while you guys were out on tour and things like that. Can you tell us a little bit about for anybody that's trying to get into wrestling, what are your thoughts on your training at Black and Brave? And for anybody that's looking to get into the business, what's one of your biggest things that you've noticed in your time in the business so far?
Don't. If you're thinking about it, don't. Straight up. Straight up, don't. Because if you're not willing to miss out on birthdays, I mean, if you want to get into wrestling and wrestle within 5 miles of your house and be a local hometown hero at the swap meet, by all means, go for it. But if you're not going to give this everything you got, just don't do it. Don't. Because I've literally missed birthdays, weddings, bar mitzvahs, you name it. I missed it all, and I continue to grind, and I'm still not satisfied. I've lost a lot of money. I put a lot of money into Zicky Dice, and, that's a hard pill to swallow at times too, but I've never given up, and I just refuse to fail. So think about it. I don't know. But if so, go get trained by a reputable school. And, I went to Black and Brave, and I went to what I thought was the best school in my opinion. And like I said earlier, I wouldn't change that if I had to do it all over again.
So hypothetically, down the line when this happens, it maybe, I don't know, WrestleMania 40 or something like that, or wherever it happens. What happens in a match between you and your coach, Seth Rollins, since I know that's one of your dream matches?
That is my dream match. What happens? I mean, the story writes itself. Student versus trainer.
So you just said you haven't cheated yet. So are you above it even against your own trainer?
Am I what?
Are you you said you haven't cheated yet to keep your TV title. So since we know you're going to keep it, or maybe upgrade to the 10 pounds
I'll whoop his ass. I'll whoop his ass. And he knows it too. I'll whoop his ass. Punch him right in his mouth. Punch him right in his mouth. And I'll let him give me one too.
Hey, so I'm just going to throw this out.
Wedding.
Since it worked for Austin Theory, I mean, it got him a tag team title shot at WrestleMania. You know, we always tell people, you know, if punching him in the mouth don't work,
oh God,
you could always kick him in the dick. I mean,
I'll do that too.
Dev, you knew I had to go there. I see your fucking face. You knew where I was going with it.
You got to work it into every episode, man. Every episode, you got to work it in.
That's the sick. We just got an episode where we hold him. We all kick him in the dick.
Yeah, I think Becky might have a problem with it, but fuck it.
No, I meant you. We all film it to start off the show.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Next time WrestleMania comes down, I'll be at the workout. I'll hide you in the locker room. We'll just run up, kick him in the dick, and leave.
No, we'll kick you in the dick.
Fuck that, man. I got a cup on. I'm ready for that shit.
Oh, I'll sign up for that.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
figure we can get a few people.
Where's the team loyalty here, sir?
Did we get any questions in? I got some nice burgers on the grill. I'm ready to. Okay, those boneless.
We do have some questions for you. One of the questions that we got in the live feed from the NWA Facebook page was, and still NWA champion, I guess that's his name. Obviously not his first name, but he said that he wants to know, is there any truth to you being doing any magic, like doing any stage magic?
Of course there's truth to that. A lot of truth to that.
Tell us a little bit about it.
I did a lot of magic in the indies, like here or there, and in the locker room and in the ring and stuff like that. Will we see it at NWA? I don't know. Maybe
All
not.
Right, what's your best trick?
Making your girlfriend disappear.
Well, since I ain't got one,
and I didn't mean that I didn't mean that like the Teddy Hart disappear either. I meant that like the magic disappear.
Oh shit!
Shots fired.
Shots fired, dude.
Shots fired.
With that shit all over social media, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dev, I'll leave that one to
No
you.
comment. No comment, yeah.
I hear you. I don't blame you.
Well, we don't want to hold you too much longer from your burgers, man. So I'll ask one last question.
Yeah.
With the Crockett Cup being canceled, I was supposed to be there for Crockett Cup, and the TV tape was highly disappointed. Have you heard anything about what NWA is planning on doing as far as, programming, and when they're going to get you guys back down there whenever this is over? Or any ideas?
I had a call yesterday with Logano. We are working on a few things to kind of get the ball rolling. Then again, it's hard to make plans right now with everything going on. Like our shelter in place just got pushed back another 30 days here in California. So it's hard to tell, and then, you see some stuff in the news that this might go on until July. Man, I would love to say summer would be great, but it might be fall. Yeah, I don't know. But There will be content, and there will be stuff coming from NWA and the talent on the roster. So we'll do what we can, until this all clears up.
My bad. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was all done. You're good. You're good.
So my last question for you, I'm going to piggyback off of his, and I'm going to ask you a question that we've hit most all of our guests with. So he talked about the Crockett Cup. If Zicky Dice was to enter the Crockett Cup, who would you want as your partner?
Man.
Exotic. Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
So
I was gonna enter
partner.
Well, I don't know. They had that whole singles thing going. If I was to bring someone in, I don't know. I had a few. I don't want to say because it could still happen. You know, you never know. But I got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Hey man, we got to stay tuned to see that. And last but not
That's
least,
right.
I'm gonna hit you with a fun one. So we ask this to all of our guests, whether it's MMA, pro wrestling, all that stuff. So if there's one pet peeve that you've got, whether it's in the music scene in a dressing room, it's in a wrestling locker room.
Oh man,
does Zicky Dice have any pet peeves? We've had everything from.
I got so many. Okay, one that comes off the top of my head is a wrestler with shitty gear. I hate shitty gear. I hate when, like, I don't care how good you are. I don't care what moves you're doing. I don't care how many people love you. If I see your underwear hanging out your gear or, like, some generic-looking gear that you look like whatever, I don't even care. That drives me nuts. Some of my good friends still dress like idiots. So generic gear, corny gear, I don't care. And a bad promo, good God, but I love them. Those two things drive me nuts.
Hey man, that's a first though. We've had a bunch of them, but we never have had shitty. We've never had shitty gear. We've had fans not taking a shower and learning what deodorant is. But
I'm sure you've been to shows where you see some wrestlers like, whoa, that guy's got some shitty gear, right? And like,
yeah, I can't even argue.
If someone could invest, I just got 7 brand new pairs of gear, and I don't know when I'm going to wear them, but I have 7 brand new pairs of gear. Yeah, it's an investment, but you know what? I'm different than everybody else. So there's some advice. There's some free Zicky Dice advice here on Knockouts in 3 Counts.
Hey man, before we let you get out of here, let everybody know where they can find you one more time. And as always, man, thank you for your time, man. It was a fun time, like I said, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And all that good stuff, man. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Make sure you check in on your friends, family, say hello, give a call. You can follow me at Zicky Dice, every piece of social media out there, and stay tuned. More outlandish fun ahead.
Thanks for your time, brother, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe.
Yes, sir. All right, Dev. So outlandish Zicky Dice, man. He's left the house. If you need a house, check out Matt Stransky and Stransky & Company Realty. They're the real estate easy button. Matt, I know you're watching, man. You can check them out. All their links to all their stuff is on our website at ko3cpod.com. You can find them on Instagram and Twitter at Stransky & Company. Like I said, man, they're the real estate easy button. Like I said, you won't be disappointed. And, hey, man, since we're all staying in our houses right now, I mean, now would be a good time to be looking at a new crib.
Definitely. You have nothing else to do. Go look up some nice houses, man. And buy a house.
Buy a house, damn it. All right, so with the time that we've got left, Dev, what the hell do you think of the wrestling landscape right now with all this coronavirus bullshit? And did you hear the news that once again Khabib and Tony Ferguson isn't going to happen?
Well, okay. 2 things I wanted to touch on. 2 things. One, the Khabib and Ferguson not happening. Number one, I'm not surprised. I honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen. I'm like, that fight is
convinced
doomed.
that fight is cursed.
Yeah, that fight is doomed, man. That fight is never going to happen. I just made that up in my mind. But have you heard about who they were thinking about bringing in as a replacement?
I heard it might have been Usman.
No. From what I'm hearing is Justin Gaethje.
I heard that name too.
And for me, I'm all about that, man. Justin Gaethje can go. And to have him and Ferguson, and I think it would be for like an interim title or something like that. I'm all for it.
Hey, man, I think Gaethje's fun to watch. I'm down to watch it any way it goes. All I hope for is that whomever takes that spot, man, I just hope that they're safe, man, because my whole thing is this. Like, we all know what's up with the coronavirus, man, and obviously it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out that a fight would be the quickest and easiest way for somebody to contract that. So it's –
But who the hell is going to sanction that fight? That's my question.
Dude, I've heard
With wrestling, it's different because there's no sanctioning body for that. But who the hell is going to sanction a fight anywhere?
I've heard United Arab Nations. I've heard.
So you're going to fly.
Like I said, 18, I didn't say it was
18
smart.
plus hours.
I didn't say it was smart. I just said that this is who we're talking about.
Well, basically, I'm saying that to say this, man. Dana, just let it go, man. It's not going to happen, man. The world is in a crazy place right now. You need to let it go, man.
Hey, man, I mean, I respect wanting to make it happen, man, but I mean, look at what's happened to WWE, man. Like, holy jeez. I know you're not watching the product right now, but dude, they just in the last 48 hours, bro, they've had like a whole list of people went down. Andrade went down last night. So he's
got coronavirus, or he just not wrestling?
He's got broken ribs.
Oh, shit.
He's got broken ribs, so he's out. And because of that, I know you know the news already, but it opened the door for another past guest of our show, Austin Theory, to climb another rung of the ladder. Since November, this guy has got to NXT, got on TV, got on Raw, and now he's wrestling for the tag team titles, even if it's not with all the pomp and circumstance at WrestleMania of all places. So, I mean, hey, man, you want to talk about an opportunist, bro. He might be taking a page out of Edge's book for that one.
Facts. But yeah, I don't see any fights happening, man. It's too risky right now. And so Kellen Andreas it's actually Andreas. He keeps saying that, man, Vince McMahon and Dana White, they're the same person, man, just different businesses, man. They're gonna make it happen somehow. But I'm like, dude, it's not safe, man. It's not safe. And the other thing I got to talk about, and I might need a second. I am officially done with Mr. Jonathan Bones Jones, man.
I knew it was coming. Yes,
dude, I've been done with him, and when does it click, man?
Zicky about that son of a bitch.
Dude, when does it fucking click in your head to stop drinking and fucking driving, man? Stop doing.
Did you hear what he got though?
What?
What they actually gave him for this whole thing? Did you actually hear what he got in the plea deal?
Tell me. I'm not going to be pissed off. Tell me.
It makes me sick because if you or I did it, like I said, please don't, anybody that's listening to this, don't mistake what I'm saying. I don't want to see anybody in jail. Don't mistake it. But this guy has been popped how many times? And this is what, the second or third time he's got DWI? Third. All he got out of the whole thing, even when he pled guilty, you ready? 4 days house arrest and community service.
So let me get this straight. We're already on fucking lockdown status. So
you just made him
do what you're supposed to be doing anyway for 4 days, and then when you're done, go do some charity work to make yourself look good anyway. Like, oh, I do this charity work anyway, man.
I just hate it because I'm such a fan of the guy, man. But it's.
And dude, that's part of the reason why I didn't go to that fight in Houston, man. Because it's like I can't.
You can't support it anymore.
Damn it, dude. When does it fucking click in your head not to do this stupid shit over and over again, man?
And the thing is, man, I'm not even hating on nobody for fucking up and making a mistake. All I'm saying, man, is like when you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and worse, at what point does it stop becoming a mistake? And what? Here's a better question. Here's a better question.
Wait. But here's the thing. It wasn't just you got to remember. It wasn't just a DUI. It was a gun charge too. He discharged a weapon.
Right.
So it's like, what the fuck is he going to take for this? And look, I don't wish jail or prison on anybody, but he's one of those people that's the only way he's going to fucking learn his lesson. But no one ever wants to throw the book at him. Dana White, the judicial system, they never want to really penalize him for what the fuck he does, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I ain't going to cut you off.
So that was exactly my question, though, man. Like, what is it that you actually think it would take until the UFC finally says, all right, bro, fuck this. I can't do this no more.
Him going to prison. That's about it. Because Dana White doesn't have stars. We talked about it last week.
Are you sure, though? Because Connor went to jail and they didn't do shit.
Who?
Connor went to jail.
Connor didn't. He got a slap on the wrist, too.
Well, I agree. I'm just saying he actually went to jail over what happened, and still they didn't do shit.
No. I'm not saying jail. I mean prison time. I mean,
I know.
Years.
Oh, I know what you mean. I know
that's the only. And look, and then once he gets out, they're gonna put him right back in that fucking ring. So. And
I feel like I'm being such a hater right now, bro. But I feel like I'm being such a hater right now, man. But I mean, it just.
I'm just fucking done with the guy, man.
I'm more frustrated than I am anything.
And you got to realize, man, he was the guy that, you know, I ain't gonna say he got me into it, but he was the one that got me going to MMA fights. The first fight I ever went to was him versus Rashad Evans. The second one I went to was him versus Glover Teixeira in Baltimore. So if it like that's my guy, man. That is my favorite. That was my favorite fighter of all time. Now I just can't even fucking. I can't do it because I'll never go to another one of his fights because I'm afraid that he's going to get pulled from a fight. It seems like every time a fight comes up, I'm always worried that he's going to do some stupid shit. He gets pulled from the fight, or he's going to pop dirty for the fight afterwards, and that fight's going to be taken off his record, man. And then, sure enough, after this last fight, here he is, you know, getting a DUI. So I'm done.
It's just crazy, man, because it's crazy to think. Because I mean, for those who have been following us for any length of time, you know that the whole way that this show even came about was because Devin was traveling to MMA shows and stuff like that, and I was traveling to WrestleMania and MMA shows, and that's how this all came about. So if he didn't go to those shows, there would be no knockouts and 3 counts.
Hey, Kyle,
just
where am I supposed to be right now?
Where are we both supposed to be? And first of all, the hell with Spirit Airlines.
Tell them why you're mad, son.
Well, I mean, they don't want to give nobody their money back, even though we're all in an epidemic. But I mean, hey,
pandemic, sir, pandemic.
Whatever, epidemic, pandemic, it ain't good. So that gives me a good question to ask you. So when we do make it out of this pandemic, because we will make it out of it. I don't know how long it'll be, but you know, everybody stay strong. We are going to make it out of coronavirus. But
yes, sir.
When we make it out of coronavirus, what impact do you think that this is going to have on the wrestling game? And what impact do you think this is going to have on MMA? Do you think we'll still see people like jump to go to the shows and the fights right away? Or do you think people are going to be, you know, a little bit hesitant because of coronavirus?
So here's the funny thing is, I think, especially like right afterwards, those first, you know, wrestling events and MMA and boxing events, I think those tickets are going to sell out quick because people are so fucking tired of being in the house, man. People are going to want to, you know, get out and do something, man. So I could definitely see, you know, right away, once all the bans are lifted, I see, you know, ticket sales going up, you know, out of the roof or whatever. But
now, do you see anything changing as far as, so for me, here's my thoughts on it. And this is just judging off of what I've been seeing as far as Michigan goes. I don't know quite what it's like over there for you in Texas, but here in Michigan, man, look, that's a click sign. Fuck the hook 'em horns.
Go Longhorns!
You bastard. Hey, you can become a Cowboys fan too while you're at it. Jerry Jones would love you.
I was about to say something, but I don't want to insult any people from different communities that watch the show. So I'm
good. That being said, man, like, so for me, here's my thoughts on where we go as far as the wrestling and MMA after that. I don't think that there will be a big impact on like the bigger shows, like maybe a WWE or a, you know, an NWA, an AEW, something like that.
Right.
My thing is, I wonder how it affects the indies, both in MMA and wrestling. Here's why. You and I have both been to very many indie shows, very many MMA shows. The local shows, man, you know, it's not what's the word? It's not, I don't want to say as well ran, because we've got some very well ran shows here in Michigan, like Lights Out Championship, WXC, Evolve, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But what I'm saying is it's a lot smaller space. Like, think of an Evolve, for example. Evolve is standing room only every time they come here to Livonia. And I feel like you're going to go through a little bit of a period where people are kind of hesitant to be all jammed up, like body to body with people.
I disagree with you 100%. And here's why.
You think so?
So here's human nature, right? Human nature. Something happens. You panic about it. After, after it's all over and done, give it about a month or two, people go back to their normal routines and shit. So people are going to be going, I think people are going to go right back to, everything is normal, man. And I hate to say this, but I feel like people don't learn lessons from major events like this.
We really don't.
History is doomed to repeat itself. So, yeah. And we've talked about it before. We mentioned it on the show today, man. Wrestling fans, washing.
Wash your balls. Listen to the Human Tornado. Wash your balls.
Wash your hands.
Oh, no, that was like Congo Kong. Excuse me. That was Congo Kong.
Tornado probably would have said it too, man. But let's all
Tornado was too busy getting lap dances from the video I saw the other day.
We ain't gonna talk about that. But
hey, it was in a wrestling ring.
But yeah, we just all need to be more cognizant of washing our hands, hygiene, showering, soap. You ever seen that? You ever seen that video of Stone Cold Steve Austin when he started going off on people like, you see this right here? This gimmick right here is called a bar of soap. See, you go ahead and scrub that some bitch right up under your arm.
Somebody did share that video the other day. I did just see that.
I shared that.
I was going to say, I just saw that somewhere, dude.
You see this right here? This is called toothpaste. You put some of this here toothpaste on the toothbrush and you scrub it on them gimmicks you call teeth.
Okay. You just gave me another good question, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Don't have to comment on WWE at all.
Last one.
Good. So as we go into WrestleMania this weekend, not going to ask you about the card because I know you're not watching it.
I don't know shit.
I'm not asking about the card. Do you think when everything goes back to normal, when we get to WrestleMania 37, do you think that this will affect WWE's ability to be able to sell WrestleMania like that?
Not at all.
Because everybody, it got canceled and all that stuff. Do you think that hurts them at all?
No. WWE is tough line, man. They're the hood ornament of the industry. Nothing's going to touch them. The company I'm worried about right now more than anything is GCW. They had an issue with getting their money back. Wait, was GC? No, it was WrestleCon. But
no, GCW. GCW lost well over $100,000 over that shit.
No, I think I think that one was WrestleCon because they had a problem with Marriott and Chris
over
Jericho.
$100,000 because I shared the article off the page.
Well, regardless, all the indie promotions, GCW, WrestleCon. I think those are the ones that we need to be worried about. GCW, they put out a statement because we had tickets for the For the Culture show and Kellen Andrea's Wrestling Stereotype show, and that was a GCW thing. And they sent an email saying that, hey, we still plan on putting a show together. If you want your money back, we're not going to hold it for you. Just send us a request to get your money back. But we're asking you to, believe in us that we'll get this show on and and invest in us. And basically one of the articles I was saying is that basically the collective, that the matches that they put on WrestleMania week, that's where they make most of their money to run the rest of their shows throughout the year. And with that gone, those are the
because they had a show almost every day that weekend.
No, they had multiple shows every day that week.
Right, like that's my point. That's my point.
But
that's my whole point. They've got so many shows running, man. If those don't run, holy shit.
And then they had to cancel the 2 shows they had planned for Detroit, the Horror Slam show and their own show. So those are the companies that I think it hurts most. WWE's fine. WWE's got money up the ass. AEW's fine. They got Tony Khan and they got a network behind them. It's the other companies, your Evolve, your Ring of Honors, your TNAs.
I disagree on that one, and here's why. I don't know if you know. I mean, I don't know how much Impact you've been watching. I mean, dude, they've still got 5 weeks of brand new TV in the can, bro.
But what do they do next?
Right, but I mean, you've got 5 weeks worth of TV, so that means that buys you a whole, at least another month.
Well, yeah, it buys you time, but like once that, I mean, if this thing goes longer than that, then what do you do? But
okay,
we got to wrap this one up, sir.
Okay, I got you. But why couldn't? I mean, I don't know that it would be as big of an issue for them, and here's why. Because like a brand like Impact, I'm sure they could always get back in the old Impact Zone or like the Asylum or something like that and run shows from there if they needed to. The same with like NWA having the TV studio. I think if they're able to get it to where they're able to work in there, even if it's empty, I think that they would still be all right, which is why I think right now a show that's taped like that may fare a little better than some of these live shows because, you know, you have the luxury of being able to get multiple weeks done at a time. But either way, man, it's a hard time. With that being said, man, everybody
we'll
that's
finish that debate another time, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So everybody that's listening and everybody that's watching, man, please be safe with the coronavirus. Please stay home as much as you can. Be safe. Check on your loved ones, like Zicky said. Make sure you check on your friends, loved ones, all that good stuff. And while you're at it, go to our YouTube. Check out all the past guests. You can check out Bruce the Barber Beefcake. You can check out Zicky Dice. It'll be up there soon. You can check Ricky Morton out. You can check all kinds of them. We don't got Val Venus, but we've got a lot of them.
That's my outlandish dance.
Hey, man, make sure you're subscribed because we've got plenty of good content for you guys to check out. So stay safe. Make sure you check it out. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit NOKOUT. Make sure you're following the show at KO3C Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Knockouts and 3 Counts on YouTube. Shout out to Stransky and Company Realty. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. So, Dev, throw your social media out and let them know where to find you.
And make sure you follow me on Twitter at Devin63. That's DEVINTHE63. You can find me on Instagram at All Steak, No Sizzle. One word. Make sure you check out Reality. What did I say? I
said it's one word.
Oh, one word. And make sure you check out the Reality Era News group on Facebook where we'll talk all kinds of wrestling in there. So, all that being said, peace.
Instead of saying, fuck your couch, I want to get off my couch. Peace.
Peace.